Through the years, our military has developed a number of weapon systems, but no weapon system has been more effective in defeating the enemy than a soldier with his or her weapon. The best weapon available today in getting the job done is the M4 carbine rifle. When on the battlefield, I am useless without it. So I need to ensure my rifle is in top condition. The following steps will ensure that you have a fully functional weapon by clearing your weapon, disassembling, reassembling, and performing a functions check. Much of the information that I will be sharing with you today is from the operator's manual for the M4 rifle. First, I will begin by clearing the weapon. You will want to point your weapon in a safe direction, putting your weapon on safe. Remove your magazine. Point the charging handle to the rear and inspecting that there is no ammo in the chamber. You have now cleared your weapon. You may now move on to the next step. We may now begin to disassemble the weapon. By separating the upper receiver from the lower receiver, you will push in these pins right here. I like to use the rod to do so because it makes it much easier. Separating the upper receiver from the lower receiver. You will now pull the charging handle out, removing the bolt carrier first, and then the charging handle. You will now disassemble the bolt carrier group by pulling out the retaining pin. I like to use the pin. Makes it much easier to take out. Then, dropping your firing pin, you will now push in the bolt, turning in the bolt cam 1/4 inch and removing. Then separate your bolt from the bolt carrier. You will now remove your buffer spring and your buffer from the buttstock. I like to use the charging handle to do so because of this pin here. Makes it much easier. Separating your spring from your buffer. Your weapon is now fully disassembled. At this time, I perform maintenance by thoroughly cleaning my weapon and inspecting for any damaged parts. Once complete, you will now reassemble the weapon by putting your buffer spring and buffer together and inserting it into the buttstock. You will hear for the locking noise. Then you will put your bolt carrier group together. Inserting your bolt into the bolt carrier, you will hear a locking sound. Then placing your bolt cam pin into the bolt carrier, twisting it 1/4 inch and pulling down on the bolt. Insert your firing pin into the bolt carrier. Insert your retaining pin into the bolt carrier as well, ensuring that your firing pin does not fall out by putting your bolt carrier upside down. Now you will insert your charging handle into the receiver, into the groove halfway in. You will now place your bolt carrier into the receiver pushing the charging handle in the bolt carrier and at the same time hearing a locking sound. You'll now reconnect the upper and lower receiver and aligning them into the grooves, pushing in the pins. Your weapon is now reassembled. You will want to ensure that you have properly done so by performing a functioning check. By pointing your weapon in a safe direction, put your weapon on safe, attempt to pull the trigger, you will not be able to do so. Then, place your weapon from selector lever from safe to semi. Squeeze the trigger, you will hear a metallic click. Then, pull the charging handle to the rear and release. Pulling the trigger once again, you will hear the metallic click. Then put your weapon from semi to burst. Pulling your charging handle to the rear. Pull your trigger, you should hear the metallic click. While holding onto the trigger, pull the charging handle to the rear 3 times and release. 1, 2, 3. Release your trigger and squeeze once again. You should hear the metallic click. Then pull your charging handle to the rear once more and release, placing your weapon back to safe. Now you have done a functioning check. You have now successfully completed in ensuring your weapon is in top condition. In conclusion, the following steps that will guide you to properly having a fully functional weapon is clearing your weapon, disassembling, reassembling, and performing a functions check. Now you are ready to fire some rounds, knowing that your weapon is safe to shoot.